Here we go on another adventure. We're heading for Warcop Fell today, which is the most local fell I've got near me. It's probably going to be about 4 hours around this walk, and I've literally just walked out my front door. I'm walking through my little village and heading up in the spirit of the new Tier 4 restrictions which have come in. Essential travel only, but unlimited exercise, so 4 hours of walking kind of falls into that category. The weather today is slightly up and down. The sun's out, then it starts to rain, then it starts to snow, so we'll see what it gets up to, but I'm quite prepared, so we should be right. I think this is going to be an interesting walk. So the land I'll be on today is actually Ministry of Defence land. And that's because Warcop, there is a relatively big military presence. There's actually a base there, there's a few firing ranges. You can sort of see the buildings behind me. So this is only a walk that can be done on a Sunday, because it's kind of day of rest for the military and they don't shoot. There are other days in the year, such as over Christmas, but it really does vary wildly. I hadn't actually checked the weather on this walk before I came out. There's only one way to do it. Siri, what's the weather doing in Warcop?
It's currently partly cloudy and 5 degrees.
Partly cloudy and 5 degrees. I'm not sure. Come on. Now I have got Chico with me today. I don't normally walk a Chico, mainly because he's a bit of a nuisance and actually listening to what you say, and kind of likes to do his own thing, and doesn't really do walking on lead either. And when you're trying to film, that's quite difficult. Most of this route though, well, all of it now off the A66 is off-road, and hopefully there won't be any sheep around, so should be able to have them off. As I explained earlier, Sunday is kind of the only day you can definitely come up and do these footpaths. Normally that wouldn't work for me, because I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but during lockdown everything's completely closed, including Second Life outdoors, so I can do whatever, whenever, including come up Warcop Fell on a Sunday. Here we go, so we're coming up to the first set of signs now. So as you do not pass this point when red flag lamp is flying. But as you can see, the red flag is over there and it's not flying, so we're more than welcome to head up into the military range. I've walked on small sections of MOD land before, but never ones quite as big as this. I mean, this is an absolutely massive firing range. I'd love to tell you how big it is, but I don't know. All I know is it covers 5 or 6 of these massive mountains behind, and they are big mountains too. The one thing I was specifically told about this walk is to make sure you don't stray off the footpath, because there's a lot of rangers and gamekeepers up here, and obviously military as well, and they're really making sure you stay on the footpaths because it's where you're meant to be. Although these are public rights of way, you really can't stray off, and up here there's a lot of open access and you can wander around anywhere, and I can imagine it gets ever so slightly confusing every now and then when you stray into these military defence areas. But yeah, it's beautiful and absolutely dead as well, because obviously it's a rarity you can actually come up here, so I guess people just don't bother. So the one thing I'm seeing a lot of up here is, I mean, obviously military activity. You know, this is a military firing range. So back there I saw there was a Jeep that had been shot up. I think there was a bus as well actually, which had been used for firing practice. Really interesting to look at. Couldn't get too close because you can't stray from the footpath. You have to stay on those. There's gamekeepers and military up here making sure you stay on them, and it really is paramount you do so. Just coming along this little thing, bit of a bunker obviously built into the hillside. It's just really cool to see stuff like that while you're up here, you know. I mean, you know it's a military base, but you're just looking for those sort of glimpses of what they're using it for and an insight into it all. And there isn't loads of that, which is a good thing, in my opinion. You know, the military have took over the fells and they're using them for what they're using them for, but actually, you know, there's sheep grazing, there's protected moorland, and just nestled in between are these reminders that the military are here and they, you know, do obviously what they do and, you know, train and help protect us ultimately. But it's nice to see they're also protecting the land that they're using and they're not just completely destroying it. And that couldn't be more evident than what I'm seeing here on this on Warcop Fell. This has definitely got to be one of the worst times of day to film. That and sunrise, because the sun is absolutely blinding. You spend your entire life making sure that it's not blinding the camera lens. And I know what'll happen. I'll get back, look at half this footage and go, I can't see what's going on, because the sun was in the way again. And it kind of lights up half your face as well, and sometimes that's a good thing, and you look back and go, oh, yeah, I look alright in that shot, the sun's lighting me up nicely. Or you look at it and think, do I really look like that in the sun? Really? Just like, you know, an interesting observation while I'm up here on the fells, filming away. Okay, so I've just found myself having to walk off trail to actually find a way across the moorland, because I've kind of gone slightly off track. Which isn't brilliant, because I don't want to be on here. Don't get me wrong, I don't think the UK military are loading moorlands full of explosives waiting to get unwitty hikers, but they might be. So 100 metres of walking across that moorland, and we're back on the path. Here we go. So this is something that not that many walkers actually know, which is slightly surprising to me. It's when you're walking along in a place like this, and they do this for new routes and trails, etc. Yellow markers on the top of posts, that indicates a footpath. Obviously on this one we've got, you know, some footpath signs as well, which are quite useful. But especially new routes as well, and alternatives and diversions, often use yellow marker tops on the top of posts to indicate where you're going. I've seen it recently in walkers groups. People will go, oh, I didn't know where to go, the footpath was diverted. But actually in the same photo I can see, you know, the yellow marker tops on posts. So just for people who don't know, if you've got into walking this year, you're new to it, maybe you've done it a while but haven't come across it. When out walking, you are looking for those footpath signs, but also any yellow markers on top of posts, those will indicate a footpath and sort of give you a rough direction. Right, so I've got up to about only 450 metres or so, and there's actually a snowstorm coming in over the mountains. You can probably see it blowing past my face. It's freezing to the camera at the moment. It is so cold up here, and this weather's literally just coming over the hills. I'm not going to carry on any further. I'm going to start heading back down, and yeah, hopefully we can get out of this weather. Whew, cold. I'm not sure if it's going to show quite well on the camera, but there's quite a bit of snow coming in at the moment. This is what happens when you don't check the weather forecast. You think, oh, I should walk locally, be fine. Sorry, local mountain. It should be alright because it's quite well marked up here, but I think it's wise just to come back down, to be honest. Shame we didn't get to the top, but have got to walk on a brilliant military firing range today. God, this snow is coming down. I'll give you an update when we get to the bottom. There we go, so we've got back down now onto the gravel track that I was kind of walking at before. I'm surprised how good the tracks are, really. But then I guess the military don't want you off the footpaths, so it makes some logical sense to make sure you actually know where you're going, you know, with these quite well marked trails. And even the ones I was on when I turned off and started going up the mountain, all really quite well marked, to be fair. Not very walked, so, you know, a bit hazy in places, but well marked, so you didn't know where you were going. How you got between those every now and then was, you know, a bit of a straight line, really. I'm kind of glad I came down, actually, really. because the sun is dropping off, and I have got my head torch with me. In fact, I bought another one the other day, and this one's a bit like having a flood lamp on your head. But I don't really fancy walking around a military range in the dark, if I'm honest. So it's probably best that we're coming back down now and back onto these well-marked trails, but I will be coming back for you, Warcop Fell, definitely. Because they're just such beautiful mountains, especially at the moment with the snow on as well. 450 metres, not too bad, nowhere near the summit. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's video as much as I've enjoyed making it. It's been nice to just wander out my front door and head for the mountains, really. It's the first time I've been able to do that ever in my life, so I'm, you know, privileged to be up here and live where I do at the moment. It's just a beautiful area, and I'm definitely going to take advantage over it, especially over the next few weeks with new lockdowns coming in and Bojo on the telly chatting about whatever he's going on about. I think if I just keep walking local, I'll be okay. And hopefully everything will get back to normal. Second Life outdoors can open, and I can get a bit further afield again. But I tell you what, to walk out your front door and head up something like that, it's not bad, is it really? It really isn't bad. Anyway, I will see you soon. Do the like, subscribing, and I don't know, whatever else YouTube wants you to do, figure it out. Give it a share perhaps, add it to a playlist, maybe even save it for later. Could really have some fun. And I'll see you next time.